during the hard time of COVID, December 2021, sir, you joined us through online, in a hybrid mode, and you were the chief guest of that time. Today, post-COVID era, when we have started from the last year, the physical conference, I am delighted that Vasu organizing this conference in a mega way. We are very delighted that far wide from India, everyone from ICR institutes, from the state, university, everybody participated overwhelmingly in this 28th annual meeting. It's a good beginning for the genetics and breeding fraternity. And we hope that ISAGB marching ahead in its new vision to furtherance of the science of genetics and breeding, in particular, animal science in general. I think the chief guest of today's function, I would not tell about him. Everybody knows the kind of his passion for science and particularly genetics. As a teacher, as a researcher in the field of genetics, I think nobody else than Dr. Mahapatra is a leading figure. I hope the students, the researchers, everyone here would be benefited from his benevolence, and his wisdom and understanding of the subject of genetics. Every time we heard him, it's again something new. I will not speak more. We would eager to listen for his address. ISAGB today, as we stand for the 20th meeting, started way back in 1984. 40 years journey has been done. Our dear put this forward. Some of have been organized. So kudos to Vasu and the head officials and the vice chancellor and everybody associated with ISAGB here to make this a mega event. I, on behalf of ISAGB, thankful to the organizers, the vice chancellor, the organizing secretary Dr. Saxena, the secretary of ISAGB, chairman of the committee, dynamic organizing secretary Dr. Gupta, to make this event possible in a mega manner. I wish all the success. I wish ISAGB to run ahead, to run now as a fraternity of genetics and breeding. You saw that the journal, for the first time, ISAGB journal with the active support of NIPA, now online. Hope you are beautiful. I welcome all the live members to contribute immensely to this journal, which was released by the Honorable Chief Guest. We are already going online. Many of the things. Website is up. Wish all the success for ISAGB, success for this conference. And I am again thankful wholeheartedly to the Chief Guest, Dr. Mahapatra, to make it possible conference. That I thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
We are really grateful to our for their precious valuable time for this reason. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. PRC to honor our chief guest, Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra. A symbol of gratitude and respect is being presented as a token of love to our chief guest as a sword and memento. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. J.K. Prasad, Chairman of the Organizing Committee, to present memento and shawl to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. D.R.C. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. V.K. Saxena, General Secretary, to honor the President of Indian Society of Engineering, Dr. B.P. Misra. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. P.K. Rao, Joint Secretary of the Society, to honor General Secretary of the Society, Dr. V.K. Saxena. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. J.P. Gupta, Organizing Secretary of this conference, honor Joint Secretary of the Society, Dr. P.K. Rao. छोटी सी भेंट, एक छोटी सी यादगार चीजें इस लम्हा इस पल को ताउम्र यादगार बना देती हैं। I request Dr. Virendra Kumar, Head, Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding, Bihar Veterinary College, Patna, to present a sword and memento to Dr. J.K. Prasad, Chairman of the Organizing Committee. Now I request Dr. Soni, Assistant Professor, Department of I request Dr. Soni, Assistant Professor, Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding, Bihar Veterinary College, Patna, to honor the Organizing Secretary of this conference, Dr. J.P. Gupta. Now I request the recipients of the Fellow Award of this session, please come to the dais. I request the fellows, all the fellows who have received this award, is our privilege to honor you all. हमारी भारतीय परंपरा रही है, सम्मान प्राप्त करने से ज्यादा खुशी हमें सम्मान देने में होती है। Thank you for the reason. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. for formal address to grace the occasion.
Well, very good morning to all of you. The most respected chief guest of this functions, Dr. Tirajal Mahavatraji, the chairman PBB FRA and former secretary there and DG ICAR. We have the kind presence of ADG, Dr. G.K. Gaurji, the president of Indian Society of Animal Genetics and Breeding, Director NBAGR Karnal, General Secretary of the Society, Chairman, Organizing Committee, Organizing Secretary of this seminar, distinguished guests, faculty members, and I could see many our retired faculty, students, press and media persons, esteemed colleagues, delegates from across the country, ladies and gentlemen. A warm good morning to all of you, and I feel very proud to the kind presence of our Dr. Jajal Mahapatraji, and I privileged to have his presence as our chief guest. And as you all know, he is a very visionary leader and one of the most respected figures in Indian agricultural research. Dr. Mohapatra has an illustrious career as a scientist, as a policymaker, as an administrator, having served as a secretary to the Department of Agricultural Research and Education and Director General ICAR, and his groundbreaking contributions in the field of genomics, particularly the crop improvement, have earned him numerous accolades nationally as well as internationally. Currently serving as the chairman of the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Right Authority, Dr. Mohapatra continues to lead efforts toward innovation and sustainability in agriculture. His presence today inspires us to push the boundaries of scientific explorations and practical application in the livestock sector. I think you all join me by clapping your hands to welcome the Dr. Tushar Mahapatra. And he is known for his leadership, and during his presence as a Director General and Secretary there, we enjoyed his presence. And during his tenure, he brought so many reforms in the ICR system. And one of the greatest system which he has brought into system, that is the transport policy, and for which we all scientists of the ICR enjoy today. And in absentia, I also welcome the Principal Secretary, Dr. N. Vijayalakshmi. For some reasons, she is not here, but for very important meetings, she left for Delhi, but she has sent her greetings and messages to all of us for the successful this seminar. I also welcome, rather I special welcome our retired faculty, and I could see Dr. A.K. Khan, Dr. B.K. Sinha, Dr. Ajit Kumar, Dr. S.P. Sharma, Dr. Adhya Prasad, Dr. S.P. Verma. I especially welcome to all of you for having your time and giving presence to this national seminar. So, in this seminars, as I am told, around 150 scientists from the outside they have registered, and it is because of the Dr. Tushar Mahapatra. Having known that so and so person is coming to address us, so because of this gathering, so I special welcome to you again. And we also have a galaxy of scientific leaders who have dedicated to the research and development and education in the field of animal genetics and breeding, and led the policy formulation and its execution, are ranking India first world in milk production, third in broiler production, and fifth in egg production. I extend warm welcome to all of you. This conference has brought together participants from across the country, representing diverse regions, covering more than 20 states and institutions, SAUs, industry, and academia, which is showcasing the depth and breadth of India's expertise in animal genetics and breeding. The presence of such a wide array of experts is a testament to the significance of this event and the importance of its mission. Well, a lot has been told about our BASU, but the Bihar Animal Science University, as the host of this prestigious conference, has constantly strived in advanced education and the research and the outreach in the field of animal genetics. Since its inception, BASU has remained steadfast in the mission of fostering sustainable practices in livestock, dairy, and fisheries, making significant contribution to the socio-economic development of our state as well as our nation. BASU is proud to be the custodian of the Bihar Veterinary College, the fourth oldest veterinary college in India, that was established in 1927, which will mark 100 years very soon. And it has been a cradle of veterinarian education in the country, production STS veterinarians who have served the distinction both nationally and internationally. Its legacy is a testimony to Bihar's commitment to animal husbandry and its pivotal role in the rural livestock. Now, our university has emerged as a hub of innovation, addressing critical challenges in animal production and health. For tackling heat stress in livestock and improving reproductive efficiency, to promoting genomic selection and combating parasite resistance. Our university has contributed immensely
to modernizing animal husbandry. The establishment of state-of-the-art laboratories and collaborations with national and international research organizations further amplify our capability. Through our extension programs, we have trained farmers and entrepreneurs promoting sustainable livestock practices and improving rural livelihoods. The college has taken a lead in conserving and improving indigenous livestock breeds like Bachur and Purnia cattle, which are not only genetically unique but also well adapted to the local conditions. Besides this, university has contributed enormously in livestock improvement efforts across Bihar, like progeny testing of the Harparkar herd, providing genetic enhancement services through the crossbreeding and grading of programs aimed at benefiting the state's livestock farmers. The Purnia Semen Station at the state-of-art establishment of the government of Bihar is a hub of good quality semen of proven bull for augmenting milk production in Bihar and neighboring states. Well, the very well organized theme of these seminars resonates deeply with our goals. The efficient harnessing of genetic resources is essential for achieving food security, improving livestock productivity, and enhancing the resilience of our farming system to climate change. Through this platform, we aim to bridge the gap between the cutting edge research and its application on the ground. The sub-themes of this conference encompasses a wide array of topics, including genomic selection, marker-assisted breeding, disease resistance, and the role of biotechnology in improving productivity, climate resilience, and sustainability. These are not just areas of academic interest, but also vital components of our national agenda for agriculture and rural development. Well, this conference also highlights the importance of collaboration between the academia, industry, and policymakers. And I find this a great opportunity. Having the scientists from across the country, this is a good opportunity to have some collaborative work with the BASU. Well, at BASU, we are committed to not just advancing knowledge, but also ensuring the practical application. We recognize the ultimate beneficiaries of our work are the farmers and livestock keepers who form the backbone of India's agrarian economy. To this end, the BASU has launched several initiatives. That is, the train the next generation scientists in cutting edge technologies, development of commercial, economical layer of broiler as well as the backyard type poultry, develop climate resilient livestock system, enhance the nutritional quality of animal derived products, and I commend the efforts of the organizing team led by the chairman, organizing secretary for meticulously planning for this seminar. And I am confident that the deliberations, the thematic sessions, and industry academia interface meetings will yield valuable insights and the actionable strategies for the future. Well, friends, as you all know, our Honorable Prime Minister has set a goal before all of us, that is Viksit Bharat. And for that, every scientist, every institution, they should have the institutional development plan to achieve that target. So I feel and I urge all the scientists who have come, particularly for this animal genetics and breeding, let us come together and prepare a institutional development plan for your subject. Likewise, I cite one example of the Bihar government, the Krishi roadmap, which was launched during 2008 and it's continued till date. And that has brought the sufficiency, self-sufficiency and fisheries production. So that great credits go to our Indian leadership, our honorable Chief Minister, Shri Nitish Kumar Giri. Let us give a big clap to the government also for this one. And that is why I feel very proud to have the legacy of scientists. And I urge all scientists to prepare a plan for next 5 years, from 2025 to 2030, and see what is left out from this program. Then again we prepare for next 5 years. So at the end of 2047, we have to come out with certain strategy and plan so that our contribution is also there in attaining India's Viksit Bharat by 2047. The Krishi roadmap has brought the self-sufficient in the fisheries, not only the fisheries, but also increase the production and productivity of the agriculture crop. Now we are number 2 in the mango, number 2 in the vegetable production, and because of continuous production priority of agriculture crop, I say maize, wheat, and paddy, the Bihar government has achieved 5 times the Krishi Karma Puraskar from the government of India. So this is the great initiative of the our Krishi roadmap. And as mentioned made by our Dr. Saxena, we too, all the universities here in the Bihar, BASU, RPCU, and BAU, and the ISAGB institutes also, we got much benefited from the Krishi roadmap. I would like to cite some more examples, which is very important for the rest of the states. From this year, all the PhD holders who want to conduct their research on the millets and the oilseed and the pulses, the government is giving 10,000 rupees for all the PhD holders. That is besides their regular scholarship. That is nowhere in the other country. It is not only that. Apart from the 10,000 rupees, 2 lakh rupees contingency amount to all the PhD holders. And perhaps this is the only state in the country where for all the students they will get the stipend of for the UG rupees 2,000 per month and 6,000 rupees per year for the course. So again, I take this opportunity to thank to the government of Bihar for particularly for the their research, the education, the extension system through all our universities as well as the ICR institutes. Well, before I conclude, once again, I would like to thank Dr. Sujan Mahapatra for having accepted our invitation to make his presence, because it's very tough for him, tough time for us also to get his presence. But ultimately he has come. Certainly we are going to get lot of benefit because he is one scientist of the breeder. You find his students everywhere, every institution, every university, and that is because of your presence only. A lot of people register the society. So once again, I thank you, sir, for your efforts to make this. And also, let us make this seminar a landmark event in the field of animal genetics and sustainable production. Together, let us pave the way for brighter, more sustainable future for all. At the end, I wish for a grand success of this seminar, and I request all the participants to interact during the technical sessions. And also, I'm very happy to find we have the keynote addresses. So during the keynote addresses also, let us have a proper interaction. And those interactions will be very helpful for my university and also to you to formulate the IDP, that is called Institutional Development Program. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for such an inspiring and kind words. At present, some superannuated faculties of Bihar Veterinary College Patna are also among us. They have contributed lots in their respective fields of this college. It will be a privilege for us to honor them at this occasion. I request Bihar Veterinary College Dr. J.K. Prasad to honor them. Dr. A.A. Khan, Professor, Department of Veterinary Surgery. For their long contribution in the field of veterinary surgery. We are honoring. Kindly accept shawl as an expression of our affection and reverence. Dr. Ayodhya Prasad, Professor, Animal Nutrition. Kindly accept it, sir, as a token of respect. Dr. S.P. Sharma, Department of Veterinary Surgery. Dr. B.K. Sinha, Department of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. S.B. Verma, Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding. Dr. Ajit Kumar, Department of Animal Nutrition. Dr. S.R.P. Sinha, Department of Veterinary Parasitology. And you all have devoted your life in the field of their subjects for this college. Thank you all once again. We are really very fortunate at this occasion. We have such an esteemed and learned chief guest, Dr. Silojan Mahapatra ji, Chairman, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Authority, and former DG ICAR. Sir, your contribution in the service.
Very good afternoon to every one of you. Dr. D.R. Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor Vasu, also Bihar Agricultural University, Kabul, Dr. D.P. Mishra, President of the Indian Society of Animal Genetics and Breeding, Dr. V.K. Saxena, General Secretary of the Society, Dr. Rao, Joint Secretary of the Society, Dr. Prasad, Dean of the Veterinary College and Chairman of the organizing committee of this particular conference, Dr. Gupta, organizing secretary of this particular conference. We have also many luminaries of the dais. I might miss the name, but a few of those who are present: Dr. D.K. Gaur, ADG Animal Science, Asia Headquarters, of course, Dr. Rajav Sharmadi, former Director of Animal Genetics Resources, Dr. Datta, Director of Global Institute, Dr. Mihir Sarkar, Yak Institute Director, and in fact, many others would be there in the audience. Dr. Rao, I'm told he is also here, former advisor in DBT, and many colleagues whom I know are present here. I will not take the names individually. And very importantly, those who were felicitated today, who have superannuated from this university, the senior colleagues who worked here in different capacities. All the delegates who are present in this conference and annual convention of the society, scientists, staff of the university who are present here, the research scholars, students who are present here, the representatives of press and media if you are here, all of you, warm greetings. At the outset, let me thank Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. D.R. Singh for inviting me, also to the President and Secretary of the Society for inviting me to be here in this particular conference. The Indian Society of Animal Genetics and Breeding has been in the forefront of deliberations concerning animal genetics, animal genetic resources, animal breeding, and the promotion of local germplasm resources in various ways. And this conference had chosen the title, the topic, New Vistas in Harnessing Genetic Resources for Sustainable Animal Production. I'm sure in this 2 days conference there will be enough of deliberation on the chosen topic. We have almost finished the time which was earmarked for inaugural session. We're supposed to have tea now. It's already 11:45. But we started almost half an hour late. So I hope I'll get that much of time to think you through what I want to say. But at the outset, let me also beg pardon that I am not an expert in animal genetics and breeding. I have only learned whatever little during my stay at the XVIII as a DGICR secretary there. The deliberations I had with the colleagues, the DDG, ADG, and directors. And prior to that, I was handling a project on bioprospecting of genes and allele mining. And there were also animal components. We had some interactions with animal scientists in that project. So little learning at that point in time. Of 3 years of spearheading that project as coordinator. 35, 36 institutions, more than 60 crore budget, and a lot of actions and cross-learning that took place during that period. That's what actually bothers me today. When we separate out institutions due to various reasons, break them down into single disciplines of veterinary science, of fishery science, or horticulture, forestry, crops, and so on and so forth. We have little opportunity left for cross-learning. And from that project I understood, and I'm sure my colleagues from animal science would have understood, the intricacies of different facets of crops, animals, microbes, fish, and so on and so forth, including horticulture crops and field crops. How things happen and why things don't happen, and how we can get across, get over the limitations that we have in one system, following the principles even remotely related species. And there are enormous possibilities which are offered when we have a single platform where we all interact. And next month I initiated that the National Genetics Congress. And next month it is going to again have the first one I initiated when I was president of Indian Society of Genetics and Plant Breeding. I said let us go across and beyond the genetics of plants and have people from animal, human, microbe, insect, and all systems and understand the genetics, the complexities, and the process promote cross-learning. And that platform, after and every 4 years we were supposed to meet, there's a long gap, and again we are meeting probably next month. Hopefully, some of you are invited to participate and discuss how things can be taken forward. So the Society of Animal Genetics and Breeding has been spearheading this deliberation, as I said, and choosing this particular topic to take it forward, to harness genetic resources gainfully, effectively for sustainable animal production and ultimately for the benefit of humankind. Today we talk of sustainable agricultural systems at a global level and sustainable agricultural production. When we talk of agriculture, Food and Agriculture Organization doesn't differentiate whether it is field crop or animal agriculture. All come under agriculture. And same thing happens for ICR. And I believe when I discuss, it will be all under one umbrella called agriculture. So when we talk of sustainable agriculture, certainly animal production, sustainable production of animal, very much figured there, very prominently, not just at a global level, but also at the national level. And it must be there because our food system so much dependent on animal production. Despite the predominant vegetarian population here in India, the non-vegetarianism is increasing, expanding in the country, and also at the global level already our dependence on animals for food and nutrition is tremendous. I'll not go into the specific data to complicate. I'll just highlight the issues. Given the complexities of the sustainable food system, because food system doesn't confine to production, there are three pillars. One, that is the economic aspect of it. The economic viability contributes to sustainability of any system, and so also food system. So animal production has to be economically viable, otherwise it would not be sustainable. And that's the theme of your conference, that sustainable animal production. So sustainable animal production essentially requires that it has to be economically viable. Economic viability cannot be discussed and addressed in isolation. Sustainable food production globally takes into account the environmental aspect of it. The environmental sustainability is an important pillar of sustainable food production. So sustainable animal production cannot be isolated and discussed in isolation. Environmental sustainability has to be an important pillar of animal production as well. Animal production has to happen sustainably, taking into account the environmental health. How do we address the environmental health by way of that? But while we are addressing the economic aspect of it, that animal production has to be economically viable, animal production has to be environmentally sustainable, environmental health should be maintained at all costs, it cannot be compromised. While we are doing so, the social equity also comes in as the third pillar of sustainable food production. So the social equity cannot be sacrificed and undermined is another important pillar of sustainable food production. So animal production also has to look into the social equity as a pillar. You all know who all deal with animal production. What is their economic status? What is their social status? And how much as a community we bother about the environmental consequences of what we do. So through this kind of conferences, it's not just science, but education, information should be an important component of our deliberation. How do we address prominently, adequately, the social equity while we are discussing animal production? Think about those who are engaged with sheep farming, the kind of life they lead. Though we are not talking about nomadic life anymore, but the kind of in hilly tracts, the way they move from one level to another, long distances traversing in a very short period, and at times also take longer time to traverse, and facing harsh weather. Think about animal welfare. Think the welfare of those who are maintaining the animal herds in high altitude, difficult terrains, and the economic benefit that they derive out of that large herd that they maintain. So, if you see holistically, it's a very complex issue at a global level when you are deliberating this. And we need to really address all the aspects. I will not be able to really deliberate on all aspects in detail, but highlight few things which pertain to animal genetics and breeding, rather than going into the whole aspect of sustainable animal production, which is actually the main purpose of our deliberation. But certainly, as I highlighted, they remain core to what we discuss. And they should always remain at the center, because the central point of our deliberation has to be the sustainable production and sustainable system, production at the system level. So food system, and food system includes production, post-harvest processing, value addition, the marketing, and until the food which is produced at the farm level is made available on the table of the consumers. So all the steps and processes involved, they constitute the food system. So it's not just production. So we have confined our deliberation to production using animal genetics and breeding, using animal genetic resources. But sustainable food system takes us from production, which must be sustainable, to consumption, which must be sustainable. So sustainable production to sustainable consumption. How well informed consumers we are. We must bother every day. Are we the informed consumers? Are we bothering about the environment while consuming? I will not really ask you to delve deeper, but we must. We must. What is the water footprint in the environment? What is the greenhouse gas footprint in the environment? What is the chemical footprint in the environment? When we consume something today, the tea or rice, or for that matter, animal-based food system, whatever we consume, what is the footprint we leave in the environment? How do we minimize that or optimize on that? We must deliberate. So friends, I will not really go further into it, but there are several complex issues there when you talk about sustainable food system, and when you talk of sustainable production and talk about animal genetics and breeding. Whatever little I have gained, I will take you through, and also bring your attention to few points which we must really focus on and have programs around those concepts built and implemented so that we move forward as we go along. We talk about 2047 when India celebrates 100 years of its independence, when our population would be stabilizing almost, but still it will be increasing. By 2060, we will be there about 1.7 billion, but by 2047, it would be almost stabilizing. Our aged population, the population of aged people would be increasing, the youth would be stabilizing, and the newer complex issues would be arising, and we will be having more of diseases because as the age increases, there will be more of diseases, lifestyle ones, which are associated with the different lifestyles, and also diseases coming from animal system. Almost 60% of human diseases coming from animals, and some of them also going from human to animals, so being zoonotic in nature. And certainly they will be providing far more complex issues before us for health management. And together, when we talk of One Health, animal, human, and we need to really address One Health at that point in time, with all our bigger programs, policies, attention, all put together, efforts to address that. So friends, how do we make use of our animal genetic resources, animal breeds, and do genetics and breeding to address that? Certainly, India is very rich in biodiversity. We have mega biodiversity centers. We have also hotspots, the northeastern region, for instance. The flora and fauna and all are so rich. The Western Ghats, for instance. And some of those vascular plants are declining in the population, and when they decline and come to a particular level, so we say they are hotspots and they need to be really addressed. When you talk of plants, vascular plants, a particular particular number of species should be present there in a particular region to be called as a biodiversity rich region. They are all associated with animals, birds, and other animal forms, the reptiles, the insects. So unless there are trees and plants, the other system cannot sustain and survive. So that's the reason why when we talk of this biodiversity, we have plenty of animal biodiversity. I'm not going to the data, what all that we have in terms of number. You all know. But certainly we have that rich biodiversity, and this is a rich legacy. We must not sacrifice that legacy and lose on that legacy that we have inherited. How do we really conserve those? Dr. Mishra pointed out few things, Dr. Saxena pointed out few things. But I was busy, certainly, I know we were discussing these aspects, and how do we really go ahead with this animal, population that we have? Definitely, India proactively worked on characterizing animal population, and by the time I joined, by 2016, there are almost 129 of breeds which were already identified, and today I believe 220 of them have been already identified and registered. There is no system of actually legalizing these breeds that they belong to India. We have a system of registration, but that's not really Government of India registration. which started in maybe 2007 or 8. And we thought of gazette notification. There were many hurdles. And 2019 or so, we went for Gazette of India notification of this breed. And we were allowed to do that. Probably Dr. Arjun Sharma was those days there. And we started Gazette notifying for the first time. Sent a proposal to the cabinet to allow us to do Gazette notification. They said, whatever powers you have as a secretary there, you can go ahead and register. So this is all there in the file. And we also wrote to the Animal Husbandry Department. Those days it was one department. So we wrote that. And then, I believe it was one department those days. Or there was a separate department, I don't remember that. Probably there was a separate department. Department was separate, but ministry was not separated. And we wrote to the secretary, and then we got the permission that we can notify. So we went ahead and notified that. So more than 200 breeds and varieties, new strains that you develop through breeding, they're all Gazette notified. So they are officially breeds of India. For the first time it happened, and today we continue. And since 2019, probably we have already notified maybe 5-6 times. And more than 200, maybe 212 already notified, and maybe few of them would continue to be notified. And that was a kind of step in the direction of officially recognizing the breeds of this country. But when I was, in a kind of convocation in Mapsu, Nagpur, the head of RSS, he was there receiving DSC. We were discussing, and we were discussing about the non-descript population, and he was critical of that. I came back and I thought probably we should not continue having 70-80% of our population so-called non-descript, and it has no meaning actually. It's a huge country. And if India doesn't start this, who would start? So we started planning, that time, how do we really start describing all the animal breeds of this country? And today, Dr. Mishra would certainly have a presentation and describe more of that. But, we started working on that. And then we thought of having this zero non-descript. So today, I'm told more than 15, 18 states are doing this, and we have now non-descript population has come down to maybe around 50-54%. And as we go along, I thought we will finish in 5 years engaging with the state government, but that will take longer time, as I see. But maybe 50-60 new breeds which are under characterization, populations which are under characterization, they will be registered in time to come, maybe another few years' time. We will have another 50-60 breeds getting registered. Dr. Mishra would have more details about it, but certainly we will be having more number of breeds getting added. And all of you who are sitting here concerned with animal genetic resource of this country should delve deeper into it and collaborate and cooperate and talk to the state governments so that we finish this task early and identify clear breeds, whether they are synthetic because of new breeding scheme, new programs which have been put place by the farmers themselves. So new synthetic breeds might have come. And some of the old ones which were actually carried forward, inherited by farmers, they have been maintained in certain tracts. All of them are described and registered. Can we really do this in shortest possible time and continue putting our efforts and focusing on this so that the population, animal population, bird population of this country are done, finished, and we identify what are those which are mixed populations, and they do not have that purity that we talked about some time back, but they are having a lot of different kinds of breeds, and they have been mixed because of different kinds of breeding that we have adopted, or due to unmindful artificial insemination we have done at different places, and without any particular strategy, and in the process unproductive population has been also produced along with the productive population, and that we need to really identify, describe, and finish it up. And probably that is the biggest target that we have before us, and we should be able to really do this job as early as possible. As a national policy, I believe the departments of animal husbandry in the states and the animal husbandry department at the center, they are collaborating on this, and breed-wise descriptions are now available. Breed-wise descriptions are now available. And to mind you, for the first time we registered 3 dog breeds. We were wondering what to describe in terms of Hindi and Sanskrit, and we tried to find out a good description for dogs and what would be appropriate description for dogs, not kutta. What would be appropriate description for the dogs? Honorable Prime Minister, in fact, pointed out that what is the work that you are doing with regard to dog breeds of this country? Your dog breeds have relevance in various different activities. So I not go into those details. So Dr. Mishra says that there are 4 dog breeds, another 3 of them are coming, are being characterized and will be registered. And there will be many such breeds which will be getting registered. And more importantly, Dr. Mishra says that the kind of breeds from the small island of Andaman Nicobar, there are 6 of them already registered, there will be many more coming. And imagine that what kind of a diversity we have, and how these population of Andaman relate to the mainland population. How much of that relationship we have established, Dr. Mishra? I believe once we do whole genome sequencing of all these breeds, and that should be one of our tasks. We have not really done this given the kind of cheap sequencing methods available. At a very little cost, we should be able to really sequence all the 220 breeds which are identified and registered and notified. And in that case, you'll be able to relate what is the Andaman breed of pig and how it relates to the mainland breed. Or for that matter, the poultry that is identified in Andaman, or duck which is identified in Andaman, how it relates to the mainland breed. And for that matter, global breeds which are there, or African breeds which are there, in terms of evolution. And also you can find out the signature sequences which are responsible for various traits, the adaptiveness, for instance. We talk of climate change. The adaptive signatures should be identified in all these breeds once we sequence and correlate with their various parameters, environmental tolerance parameters under various situations. High heat, you have goats which can tolerate very high humidity, you have goats which can tolerate a very low temperature, and you have goats which can tolerate a very high heat. I'll not take the names. You know the Siroi breed there in Rajasthan. You know Black Bengal here in Eastern India. And in fact, the institute here, Patna, our national research complex, it maintains a very good, Black Bengal breed which gives five kids at one time, 5 to 6 kids at one go. So likewise, so you have all kinds of breeds, and it will be easier when you sequence them. Whole genome sequencing we carry out, you will understand what are those adaptive signature sequences which can be actually utilized in breeding programs very systematically. The pan-genome analysis we talk about globally today, those sequences which were left out could not be utilized in breeding programs because we didn't know. At some stage, some of these breeding were abandoned because we thought probably we don't really succeed, we are not leading our breeding program anywhere. Leave aside Avishan, leave aside few variety in case of poultry. The backyard poultry system which is now strengthened because of that breeding. And the successful breeding that has happened in the peak. Leave aside few examples and one or two examples in case of cattle, the Bracewell, the Vrindamani and all that. We did not succeed in many of those initial breeding programs. But today, with the genomic tools which are available and the local breeds which are available, if we first of all sequence them and understand their adaptive signatures and signature sequences, along with the proper phenotyping, data recording, and using digital platforms, very accurate data recording, non-destructive data recording. You don't have to sacrifice the animals to go for data recording. You can have all kinds of imaging platforms, the hyperspectral imaging things, and infrared, near-infrared, and everything, even X-ray, and all kind of scanning that we have for animal and human now. And one can actually record all kinds of phenotypic data on different situations and correlate. We established the phenomics facility at IRI for plants, which was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. There's another milestone. And when we talk of animal system, we should be able to really do that. And with the genome sequencing of all the breeds together, Dr. Mishra, we should be able to really move forward for sustainable animal production under changing climate, for various local situations to suit for that those local adversities, and also have enhanced productivity. We talk of milk production, we talk of meat production, and we talk of very little environmental footprints. How do we do all this unless we actually understand what we have? Not few morphological descriptors that we use to describe these breeds. And we must develop that to complete that database, digital database, Dr. Mishra, I talked about when I was busy, and I'm sure you have completed the digital databasing of these breeds. And that will be a global reference. And we can create all that. And then only you will be able to utilize this population sustainably. And we do understand that 38 of these breeds, because now you have breed-wise description of the populations, the 38 of these are all endangered. I mean, they are having very little population. And you are conserving already by way of in vitro methods, whether semen or cells in culture. We must complete that, not just for 38, but all the registered breeds. All registered, I have been telling this since I was busy. We must complete conservation, preservation of the semen and cells which can be used for regeneration of whole animal, which can be regenerated, used for regenerating the whole animal in the future. Not just semen. You can collect the stem cells and preserve them. You can collect the cells which are amenable to manipulations for regenerating the whole animals. May not be possible today for all animals, but based on knowledge gained from other animal systems, we should be able to really preserve those. And we should be able to really do that. And that would be ultimate. That would be ultimate for all the breeds and more so for the endangered ones. Not just conservation, but taking them forward. And today we talk about gene editing. There are fine models of gene editing. African swine fever has entered the country in case of pig. You have many formidable diseases in case of animals. If you understand pathways, you should be able to manipulate, and you can create a non-transgenic, non-GM, gene-edited animal breeds, animal strains. and that is possible. Whether zygotic, micro manipulations, injection, or by other manipulations, we should be able to inject the gRNA and also the CRISPR-Cas system, the RNA protein complex, without genetic transformation of the zygote. Or even, there are other ways of doing in animal system. I'll not go into those details. You can read those in the literature. So there are ways and means that you can actually manipulate without creating any GM, what genetically modify your animals, which are local breeds. The local breeds improve for performance. If you understand the pathway, you can target specific genes by gene editing and improve it. There are examples. The wild species are getting modified by gene editing and making it cultivated in case of tomato. The Solanum pimpinellifolium example. And the same thing can be done in animals. You don't have to really cross to anything else, but make the wild one, the unproductive one, the highly productive if you buy gene editing. Non-GM gene editing. So there are immense possibilities to actually work on. I can go on citing examples in what direction we should be really moving in animal genetics and breeding. Animal genetics and breeding, we had already coordinated programs, but we have not really done much there. There are a lot more to do. Unless we conserve, because these kind of breeds, they vanish in shortest possible time, so we'll be losing out them. How do you really conserve? Can there be a national conservation framework on the global mission or whatever mission we create? A national conservation framework for animals, animal breeds. Can we have a recommendation that the central government, in collaboration with the state government, they have done something, but there has to be an elaborate conservation program for all the breeds, and breed conservers are supported financially, on a long-term perspective, so that the breeds are conserved. At the same time, very systematic improvement takes place. Conserve and improve, and systematically without disturbing their genetics. Without disturbing their genetics. How do we plan for this, Dr. Gaur? And this is a big challenge. Because we have not been, we talk about gear. Brazil has taken and then improved and all that, how they have improved and they have maintained the gear originality, or they have manipulated with that, because those cows, they look like it. But why we have not been able to really do that? And what are the limitations? Even if we don't go to 30 liters of milk per day, we can go up to 15 liters or 10 liters, even 5 liters. If you take Bechur, yesterday we were talking about some of those small breeds. Can we have 5 liters? Or, by systematic breeding. With genomic tools available today, we should be able to really do this. So friends, this conservation and improvement must happen along with new discovery of new breeds. And characterization of these new breeds, their evaluation must go hand in hand. And evaluation under varying situations and conditions. I was talking about registration of these new breeds. The Gazette notification of new breeds. In case of plants which I am heading today, this is plant variety protection. So any new variety which is developed can be registered with us, and the IP right, this is equivalent to patenting. The IP right remains with those farmers who develop those varieties, or for that matter, researcher or breeder who develops that variety. In case of animals, it is not there. A similar system can be established, whatever way it is. A similar system can be thought about and given right to the developer of the new variety, and that will give an impetus to those who are involved in animal breeding or breeding of birds. So I believe in years to come, once we really work on that, we should be able to build a system, where we will be able to really patent our own breeds or our own varieties, new varieties of strains that we develop by breeding. The Robinson, or for that matter, Tarshuk, in Jharkhand have developed in case of, pig. And Lanley, in case of IVRI's variety, pig variety, I think Dr. Gaur, we have been involved there. And similarly, whole lot of pig varieties which have developed, maybe almost 10 of them. And similarly, almost 10 of those, 8 to 10 of those, backyard poultry varieties, Grand Priya, and so on and so forth. And can we really protect those by way of patenting, by way of registering? And can we have a method to do that? Gazette notification is one thing, that it belongs to the country. But by way of registering, can you really have patenting of these varieties? And it goes in the name of, you can't patent the varieties, plants or animals, but you can register and in the process have your rights. So friends, one can go on discussing new vistas, and that's what you talk about, new vista in harnessing genetic resources. So you are the best judge how best you can utilize your breeds to have improved animal production, productivity, and more so, more adaptiveness under the changing climate. And the way genomics is moving, the way digital platforms are there with us, the way artificial intelligence is available with us, we should be able to really exploit our animal genetic resources more prudently, more systematically. Friends, use of these resources requires manpower. Dr. Gaur, it is a lament that we do not have people who are adequately trained in the arena of biometrics, the population genetics, biosystematics. These are areas where nobody is opting, students are not opting for. We don't have teachers to teach. When we talk of animal genetics and breeding, we must have teachers, we must have students in the area of biometrics. Many of the concepts in biometrics were developed in animal models. How many biometricians are there to teach us biometrics in animal systems? Or population geneticists are there to teach us animal genetics and breeding at population level? Unless we understand those fundamentals, we will not be able to utilize even molecular tools and technologies appropriately to improve animal breeds. We use some software to interpret our results, but they may not be really enough to do. It's already 12:30, so I don't want to really prolong further. So, but then we have to have human resource for proper utilization of animal resources. So this is lacking. We must really plan for it, and there has to be deliberation on that. International collaboration, ILRI is there. But what is that we are capitalizing on? The other day I was on 50th years of ILRI, where I was discussing with the DG ILRI. That how do we protect our animal genetic resources, the breeds? If there is transboundary movement of disease, like African swine fever, then how do you protect your own breeds? Diagnostics are there, but can you use them to monitor at the border areas, to protect your own breeds? Unless you are able to protect your own breeds, they might be tolerant, but they may not be always. Thousands of big population perished during COVID times because of African swine fever in Northeast. So there has to be a holistic approach and international collaboration. Regional collaboration needs to be really built for sustainable use of animal genetic resources in breeding for future. So friends, we have a whole lot of things to do and plan, and I'm sure such conferences provide platforms to do this. I will be learning more from Dr. Mishra in the next session. So I would like to stop here, and thank you very much, Dr. Mishra, for giving me this opportunity to be here and to learn more from you all on animal genetics and breeding rather than giving my own lecture. I have given some of my own ideas. They may not be right, may be wrong. So you can deliberate more on those and then see if there is something useful to be able to really implement. Thank you very much. In the program exam.
Thank you, sir, for your words of great knowledge and blessings. Really, your aura has lent unique charm to this visit. Thank you once again. Few minutes ago, an esteemed guest joined us, Dr. Anup Das, Director, ICAR, RCER Patna. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of Bihar Animal Science University, Patna, and Indian Society of Animal Genetics. Thank you, sir, for joining us. The 2 days conference has inaugurated now, and I'm true saying that a well-beginning is a half good inauguration. I would like to invite Dr. J.P. Gupta, present to vote on.
Respected dignitaries, guests, members of the press and media, and dear colleagues. A very good morning to everyone present here on behalf of organizing committee of ISAGB Con 2024 and the 18th annual convention. It is my privilege to and honor to propose the vote of thanks for this inaugural session. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Trilochan Mahapatra, sir, chairperson of the PPR and former secretary there and DG ICR for gracing this occasion with his esteemed presence. Sir, your towering contribution to agricultural sciences and your visionary leadership have been a source of inspiration for researchers and policymakers alike. Your thought-provoking address today has shed light on the vital role of genetic resources in achieving sustainable animal production and has motivated us to innovate and excel in our pursuit. Your presence here today elevates the stature of this event, and we are truly honored. I am equally grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bihar University, Dr. Riya Singh sir. Your exemplary leadership has elevated the BASU to a new height, fostering academic and research excellence. Your encouragement and vision inspire us to strive for innovation in animal sciences and education. Your guidance and presence here are invaluable, and we are deeply thankful for your support for organizing this conference. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. B.P. Mishra, Director ICR in India and esteemed President of the Society, for his valuable insight and unwavering support towards the success of this conference. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. V.K. Saxena, Director of Research, Bihar University and General Secretary of the Society, whose invaluable support and efforts were key to the successful organization of this event. Sir, your meticulous planning, thoughtful insight, and strategic guidance have been pivotal in shaping this conference. I am deeply grateful to Dr. J.K. Prasad, Sir, Dean of Bihar Veterinary College, Patna, and Chairman of this event, for his constant guidance, support, and leadership in ensuring the success of this conference. Sir, your commitment to academic and research excellence has been instrumental in shaping this event.
I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. P.K. Rao, sir, Joint Secretary ISAGB, for his continuous support and guidance. Sir, your presence and contribution to the success of this conference are truly appreciated, and we are grateful for your valuable support that you have provided time to time. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to the senior officers of Bihar Animal Sciences University, whose guidance and support have been invaluable. I would like to thank Dr. Veer Singh sir, Director of Instruction from Dean PGS, for your constant encouragement. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar sir, Registrar, for ensuring seamless administrative support and coordination of this event. Dr. A.K. Thakur sir, Director of Extension Education, for his valuable support. Dr. A.K. Sharma, Student Welfare from Binary Science Controller, for his multifaceted contribution for organization of this conference. And I express my heartfelt thanks to Dean of SGIDT, Dr. Umesh Singh sir, and Dean of Ovas Kisangan, Dr. Chandra, for their presence and support throughout this event. Your encouragement and contribution have significantly enriched the success of this conference, and we are truly grateful for your participation. Thanks are due to the retired faculty members of AGB and other departments who come to attend this event, this function, and showered blessing on us. A special word of thanks to the press and media for covering this important event and helping us spread the message of sustainable production to a wider audience. Your role in bringing the discussion and outcome of this conference to the public domain is invaluable. To my colleagues in the organizing committee, I owe a debt of gratitude. Your relentless effort, teamwork, and meticulous planning have brought this event to fruition. I also thank the support staff who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that every detail was perfectly managed. To all the dedicated scientists, researchers, young scholars, and representatives from various companies who have gathered here today, thank you for your enthusiastic participation. Your contribution and engagement will be immense value to the deliberation in the technical session and beyond. Finally, I extend my gratitude to all the members of the audience for being a part of this momentous occasion. Your presence adds to the vibrancy of this conference, and your active engagement will undoubtedly enrich our discussion. As we proceed with the technical session, let us remain committed to the theme of this conference, new vistas in harnessing genetic resources for sustainable animal production. I am confident that the knowledge shared and collaboration formed here will pave the way for meaningful and advancement in our field. Thank you all once again, and I wish the conference great success and fruitful outcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, Organizing Secretary of the Conference. I would like to brief the event of today's. After this session, there is an arrangement of IT outside this hall, and after this IT session, there is a keynote address by Dr. B.P. Misra, Director MBA GR Karnal, and after that keynote address, we have to move to the campus of Bihar Veterinary College, Patna. In the conference hall of Bihar Veterinary Patna, two panels of technical session oral and we go side by side. And after first and second technical session, we will move for the lunch, and after lunch, technical session will be. Thank you all for participating. Before moving for the high tea, I request you all to be ready for the listener. Thank you.